Many of the world's richest people live in huge mansions and beautiful beach houses. Others, however, prefer city living, and these amazing apartments are basically mansions in the sky. Here are the top 15 most expensive apartments in the world. Number 15. One Palm, Dubai, $27.5 million. Dubai seems to be the mecca of extravagance and opulence. The emirate is home to the likes of the Burj Khalifa and the man-made World Islands, so it should make sense that some of the most expensive real estate in the world is here. Back in 2017, the top-floor penthouse at One Palm in Dubai was sold for $27.5 million, immediately making it the most expensive penthouse in the city. Of course, the penthouse was bought by a local politician. One Dubai came with all sorts of amenities to run up such a high price tag: the 12-seat state-of-the-art indoor cinema, a business lounge and private meeting room, and their own private jetty, a gym, sauna, spa, multiple swimming pools, and even a library and hair salon. The penthouse comes with 5 bedrooms with floor-to-ceiling windows in the main living area and a private rooftop deck, so anyone lucky enough to be inside at night has the best view of the city you could ever ask for. Number 14. Faina Residence, Miami Beach, $50 million. Of course Miami's gonna make it to this list. The city's been a hotbed for the rich and famous even before Will Smith told us all how he felt about it in 1997. The Faina Residence, Miami Beach, is a luxurious 18-story oceanfront duplex penthouse. The unit was sold for $50 million to one lucky buyer, which is the most anyone's ever paid for an apartment in the Miami Beach area. True story. The absurdly expensive duplex penthouse has 8,200 square feet of interior space, with 5 bedrooms, 5 full and another 2 half bathrooms, and then another 10,000 square feet of outdoor space. Why anyone needs that much space is anybody's guess, but it probably doesn't hurt. And if anything, one of your friends could be living there and you wouldn't even know it. And while the entire apartment is amazing, the real highlight here is the 70-foot-long rooftop swimming pool overlooking downtown Miami. Party in the city when the heat is on, indeed. Number 13. 3314 Collins Ave, $60 million. Moving off Star Island and on the coast to the mainland is 3315 Collins Ave. This home is listed as $60 million and is a 6-bedroom, 6.5 bathroom, 6,000 square foot interior home. What sets this property apart is that it sits on the top floor of the famous Faina House in Miami Beach, and to reach the home's main foyer, you can use the penthouse elevator. Once you've made it off the elevator and into the art gallery, which serves as the main foyer, you're greeted by multiple walk-in closets the size of a bedroom, spa-like showers and bathtubs, and amazing beach views with floor-to-ceiling windows in every room. You've got about 4,000 square feet, and it gives you a 360-degree view of the city and beach. And of course, once you become a resident of the Faina House, you have access to all the building's amenities, including a full gym, Pilates studio, spa, and sauna. But if you're living in the penthouse of this building, we doubt you'll want to come down for anything. Number 12. Wallich Residence, $62 million. The Wallich Residence inside of the Guoco Tower is a mixed-use skyscraper in Singapore. There are plenty of shops and restaurants on the lower levels, but as you work your way up, there are some pretty spectacular apartments, with the Wallich Residence in particular being the crown jewel. The Guoco building itself is a part of an integrated development that also includes businesses, hotels, offices, and the aforementioned retail space, and a 150,000 square foot urban park. The Wallich Residence starts at the 39th floor at 590 feet high and goes all the way up to the 64th floor at 950 feet above sea level. The apartments here are absolutely crazy. There are 181 luxury units, including 1 to 4 bedroom units, 4 penthouses, and the exclusive super penthouse. Yep, that's right, a super penthouse. Taking up the top 3 stories of the building, the super penthouse in the Wallich Residence is over 21,000 square feet, with 5 bedrooms, a private swimming pool and jacuzzi, a deck, private entertainment area, 600-bottle wine cellar, and even a private elevator from the basement parking lot straight up to the apartment. This insane super penthouse was purchased by Sir James Dyson in 2019 for a whopping $54 million, and then sold again the next year for $62 million. Number 11. Opus, Hong Kong, $66 million. If you've been around this channel for a bit, you'll know that architect Frank Gehry has come up more than once here. He's designed all sorts of wild and expensive buildings around the world, but his building Opus in Hong Kong is home to one of the most expensive apartments in the world. Opus is located right in the middle of Hong Kong Island in the Park area, and it's home to a 5,400 square foot penthouse with a 1,500 square foot rooftop. So how much do you think something like this would cost? Well, if you guess $66 million, then you're right. Because that's how much it sold for in 2015, making it the most expensive apartment sale in all of Asia at the time. The penthouse at Opus comes complete with the usual things like 4 ensuite bedrooms, multiple full bathrooms, a study, and a powder room. But the building also saves 2 parking spaces for the owner. That may not sound like much, but if you're living in any major city, you'll know that a parking spot is worth more than gold. Number 10. Dome Penthouse at the Plaza Hotel, $80 million. Now we're making a pretty big jump here with this next entry on our list, and we're heading over to the city that never sleeps. Plaza Hotel in New York is one of the city's most iconic residences, and the Dome Penthouse here is so expensive it'll bring tears to your eyes. The building was built back in 1907, and the fact that residences here are so rarely put on the market only makes asking prices go up and up and up. The Dome Penthouse is a fancy duplex penthouse that underwent a $20 million renovation, kicking a value up to a cool $80 million. The penthouse encompasses 5,600 square feet of space, which in a place like New York City is big enough to start your own country. This massive duplex towering over the masses included the hotel's iconic turret, as well as an Eloise mural inside, amongst other lavish works. The Dome Penthouse overlooks Central Park and Fifth Avenue, some of the most sought-after views, and this is owned by none other than billionaire fashion mogul Tommy Hilfiger. Number 9. 15 Central Park West Penthouse, $88 million. Remember when we said views of Central Park are some of the most sought-after in Manhattan? Well, then get ready for the penthouse at 15 Central Park West. And full disclosure, New York is one of the most expensive cities in the world, so get ready to see it come up a few times on this list. The penthouse at 15 Central Park West takes up 6,700 square feet of space. Now, your average New York City one-bedroom has about 866 square feet of space, so just think of this penthouse as nearly 8 apartments all rolled into one, and just one family living there. This apartment has a total of 10 rooms, including 4 bedrooms, a 2,000 square foot wraparound terrace, and even 2 wood-burning fireplaces. The penthouse was formerly owned by former Citigroup chairman Sandy Weill, but it was sold to a daughter of a Russian billionaire for $88 million. But believe it or not, the story goes that once the ink was dry, Mr. Weill took all of the money and donated it to charity. Number 8. 157 Penthouse, New York, $90 million. New York is home to 299 skyscrapers, and their opulence is legendary. And as we've seen so far, if you want to live in one, you better have the cash on hand, because as this list progresses, they're not going to get any cheaper. A younger entry to the Manhattan skyline, 157 is 75 stories, 1,005 feet tall, and opened its doors in 2014. So it's safe to say, though, that every residence here is super luxurious. This building has not 1, but 2 penthouses, with asking prices so high that they're kept secret from the general public. But this is New York and people talk, and word on the street is one of the penthouses sold for over $90 million. It's a 6-bedroom, 14,000 square foot unit that takes up the top 2 floors, with, you guessed it, sweeping views of the iconic Central Park. The penthouse at 157 also comes with a glass atrium, typically unheard of in the Big Apple, with a wall that swings open into the living room with double-height ceilings. When you're living in a city where it sounds like your upstairs neighbors are doing some indoor bowling 24/7, a double-height ceiling sounds like a welcome change. And in typical New York elite fashion, the penthouse at 157 was acquired as an investment by a hedge fund manager, meaning that $90 million figure is only going to climb as time goes on. Number 7. 432 Park Avenue Penthouse, $95 million. Okay, we told you we're never leaving New York City. The 432 Park Avenue building without a doubt houses some of the most sought-after pieces of real estate in the city, and it's one of the tallest and most expensive buildings to grace the Manhattan skyline. That's probably why the asking price is $95 million. So, other than the highly coveted views of Central Park and saying you live on the east side, what does $95 million get you? Well, out of the 104 condos at 432 Park Avenue, this one is obviously the best. With those high ceilings, giant 10 by 10 foot windows that let residents look down on the rest of us from 1,200 feet up, oak floors, marble worktops, and even heated bathroom floors, which undoubtedly come in handy during those nasty New York winters. And if you ever feel like coming down from the high castle, 432 Park Avenue has plenty of extra perks like a gym, massage therapy room, a 75-foot pool, and a climate-controlled wine cellar available to purchase. Number 6. City Spire Penthouse, New York, $100 million. And just like that, we've reached a new threshold because New York's City Spire Penthouse costs $100 million. The City Spire's been around since 1990, and it's pretty hard to miss when you're looking at the famed skyline. Over on the city's fancy pants west side, City Spire at West 56th Street is home to a giant 8,000 square foot penthouse at the 75th story, 814 feet up in the air. A wee bit unconventional, it has an octagonal shape with 6 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, one for each day of the week I guess, and then some. The penthouse was designed and decorated by the acclaimed designer Juan Pablo Molyneux, who made it look like a Roman villa. The penthouse put some of the others we've seen to shame because it spans 3 floors, which include a separate guest apartment on the floor below. The interiors here may be a bit on the gaudy side, but when the apartment looks like it belongs to an ancient Roman emperor, does it really matter if it lives up to the more modern design standards? Yeah, I don't think so. Number 5. House number 1, The Peak, Hong Kong, $102 million. Just barely beating out the City Spire Penthouse is the house number 1 at The Peak in Hong Kong. And so despite the name, house number 1 sits at the number 5 spot here, coming in at $102 million. So then, how expensive is the actual number 1 going to be? Well, stick around to find out. The Peak is some of the most expensive real estate in Hong Kong, and the penthouse here was developed by Song Hong Kai Properties. The name of the unit may not be terribly imaginative or adventurous, but you'll feel like number 1 when you're inside. It comes with a large private swimming pool, jacuzzi, private garden, and a rooftop terrace that offers a one-of-a-kind view of Victoria Bay. This Hong Kong penthouse is, believe it or not, on the smaller side, with only 4,600 square feet of space, but we're sure that the private elevator will make up for that. The price tag for that amount of space also makes the house number 1 the world's most expensive residential dwelling per square foot. Number 4. Ritz-Carlton Penthouse, New York City, $118 million. You can't have a list of ritzy apartments without talking about the Ritz-Carlton, and as you may have expected, we're headed back to New York for this one. Sitting nicely atop the Ritz-Carlton at 50 Central Park South is the insane 15,400 square foot penthouse. And if that's not enough space for you, then you can add on the 2,200 square foot terrace outside, where you can watch all the tourists hop in old-time buggies and go for an overpriced tour of the park, or get swindled out of their money for an I Love New York shirt. All kidding aside, the Ritz-Carlton penthouse is made of 3 separate apartments, which altogether make up the most expensive real estate in New York at $118 million. That's not an easy thing to do either. The penthouse comes fully furnished and decorated and has some seriously spectacular views from the 400 square feet of windows. Number 3. Penthouse D, One Hyde Park, London, $237 million. London's One Hyde Park opened in 2010 in the heart of the city in the uber-affluent Knightsbridge area and has gone on to become one of the most expensive apartment complexes in the world. The building cost $2 billion just to build. They have to make that money back somehow, I guess. And while all of the units here are amazing, including the 4 penthouses, it's Penthouse D that really takes the cake. And if you thought $118 million at the Ritz was a lot, just wait. Because one Penthouse D at One Hyde Park went on the market, it was quickly snatched up for $237 million by an unknown Eastern European billionaire in 2014. This was the most expensive apartment purchase in Britain at the time, but to make matters worse on his bank account, Penthouse D came completely unfurnished. No furniture, no art on the walls, not even internal walls, which are all likely to cost tens of millions more. Good luck with that. Number 2. 87 Park. Okay, a quick departure before we get back to number 1. If you want some famous neighbors, then all you have to do is move to Miami and buy the penthouse at 87 Park for just $68 million, directly overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. The building at 87 Park is 223 feet high with 70 residences across 18 floors. It may not be the tallest building we'll see today, but that's still the perfect height to reveal beachgoers beneath you. Plus, this penthouse has 12,000 square feet of indoor space and another 1,800 square feet outside, making it the largest penthouse in Miami. The penthouse at 87 Park is built with 6 bedrooms and an insane 11 bathrooms, so your throne can change any time. Then there are the 2 infinity pools on either end of the house. But why 2 pools? Well, because one pool is positioned to give you a view of the sunrise, while the other does just the opposite, letting you watch the Miami sunset. Now that's some thought-out planning. Believe it or not, that's not even the best part, because the penthouse even includes a private Turkish hammam, or a bathhouse inside. Number 1. Odeon Tower Penthouse. Okay, I'm going to save the price to the end on this one. The Odeon Tower is a double skyscraper building in Monaco that is no doubt home to some of the richest people in the world. But it's not until you reach the 49th floor, the penthouse, that things really get insane. The Odeon Tower Penthouse sits at the very top of the second tallest building on Europe's Mediterranean coastline and is by no means your average penthouse. And that's not because it encompasses 35,000 square feet of space, but because it's 5 stories tall, making it one of the most expensive homes per square foot when it was put on the market back in 2014. But I'll get to the price tag in a second. Also known as the Sky Penthouse, the Odeon Tower Penthouse gives the filthy rich owner a full 360-degree view of the Mediterranean Sea. And hopefully, the owner isn't afraid of heights, because this place offers full rooftop access with an infinity pool and a water slide that will take you down to the balcony below. It's absolutely insane, and the whole place only costs $330 million. Watch our Obscure playlist for more top 15 videos about the more obscure subjects in our world. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best and most obscure videos.